Two powerful new earthquakes have hit Turkey and Syria, one measuring 6.4 in magnitude. The shaking was felt as far away as Egypt. The tremors were centered around Turkey's Hatay province, the same area devastated by a massive earthquake just 2 weeks ago. Turkey's interior minister says at least 3 people have been killed today and several hundred injured. Witnesses report a number of additional buildings have collapsed. For more on this story, let's bring in the CBC's Gabriella Panza-Beltrandi. So, Gabriella, what more do we know?
Well, on top of those casualties you mentioned, we know that according to Syria State News Agency, at least 6 people were injured there from falling debris. Meanwhile, in Hatay, their mayor is saying that in Turkey there that a number of buildings collapsed and that they've heard reports of people being trapped under the rubble there, with Turkey's vice president saying that they know of at least 8 people who have been injured in these earthquakes. Now, as you mentioned, the first earthquake that hit was a 6.4 magnitude earthquake, but they were also hit with a second earthquake shortly after that was about 5.8 magnitude. And those, like you said, were centered around the Defne town of Defne in the Hatay region in Turkey, but they were also felt as far as Jordan, Israel, and Egypt. Now, Reuters witnesses who saw this have reported that they fled their homes and were gathering out on the streets to try and keep themselves safe and try to stay out of the way of debris and rubble, describing a strong quake with more damage to buildings, with one saying that they felt like the ground was going to tear apart. Now, we have footage from a live TV interview that was going on as the first earthquake hit. And if you take a look, you can just see how quickly the people are reacting as soon as they realize what's going on. Just take a look to that.
İşi yapabilmek için.
Sevgili seyirciler, canlı yayında yine deprem oldu. Çok şiddetli sallanıyor Hatay.
So as you can just see how quickly people are moving, trying to get out of that building. Now, we also spoke last hour with a journalist who's on the ground in Turkey, and she's been covering the devastation since those last earthquakes hit about 2 weeks ago. And she talks about how around 7 buildings are about 70% destroyed, a lot of them. And so people there who are trying to get on with their lives don't feel safe going back into their homes in case more earthquakes like with what happened today happen again. Just take a listen to what she had to say about how people are feeling there.
It's like a risk to go back, and if the earthquake come again, they will collapse. So people cannot even dare to go back to their home if they know that their home is risky to go back and it's a little bit of damage. So if they have another earthquake, strong one like we had it today, it will collapse on their head.
So people are waiting in the street in tents that have been brought in for them to live in temporarily, and we're keeping an eye out to hear about more of this devastation and just exactly what the casualties and injuries to this during this earthquake were. So we'll be updating people throughout the day.
Gabriella, thank you. The CBC's Gabriella Panza-Beltrandi in Toronto.
Thank you.
Today's twin quakes have again rattled northwestern Syria, setting off fresh panic in a region where several thousand people died earlier this month. This time round, the latest from emergency crews is that several people have been injured by debris or while trying to escape buildings that were collapsing. Noor Kormush is in Idlib with the latest there.
As you can see, thousands of people have left their houses, including me, as I felt the severity of the earthquake that hit the areas of northwestern Syria. We're getting news that many buildings were destroyed due to the earthquake, and other buildings who were severely damaged due to the previous earthquake. Right now, these people are leaving their houses and heading to the outskirts of Idlib city, as most of them are already IDPs and living in harsh circumstances. Many of them were provided by portable tents in case of such conditions. We saw families, men, women, and children leaving their houses, jumping through the stairs as they don't know where to go. The temperatures are also getting colder as the area is going through a very severe winter. People still don't know where to go because their houses are not safe anymore to stay in, as many of them, as we're seeing, are now leaving the city using their cars. Many of them are already IDPs, and suffering from hard circumstances. These people really don't know where to go, as their houses are not safe anymore, and they don't know if they are safe anymore to sleep inside of their houses.
Noor Kordmoush in Idlib, northwestern Syria.